So I saw another meteor rapture confirmation and an unexplainable supernatural light in the sky. And I'll explain more in just a minute. Well, I debated whether I was even going to make this video or not, but I feel like I probably should, to encourage others. I'm already going to say to the mockers and scoffers, don't even bother. Just don't even bother commenting anything, because I'm just going to delete it. I deleted my last video because, okay. I got my second meteor confirmation last month. It was October 16th, and I asked God if he was coming tomorrow, and I got a meteor immediately following that, and that was the second meteor. The first one was before September 23rd. Back in August, I asked if he was coming September 23rd, if he was on his way. I saw a meteor. So when the meteor, the second time, when I asked if he was coming on the next day, I said tomorrow. I said, "Are you coming tomorrow?" And he didn't. I got very discouraged. I started wondering, maybe we are deceived. Maybe we were hearing from demons or something. But then I prayed about it and I thought about it, and I came to the conclusion that there's just really no way that it wasn't God, because so many different ways I tested the spirits, and God led me to Bible verses, that were rapture related. Even that same night after I saw the meteor the second time, I immediately asked him for one more confirmation to really let me know, and he led me to a Bible verse that was all about the rapture, talking about raising the dead and then raising us next to meet him in the air. So what are the chances, I would open my Bible randomly, and then the first thing my eyes settle on is that verse? So that's what happened. So I was very excited. I was thinking, okay, we're getting raptured tomorrow, It didn't happen. So I got discouraged, but I started praying about it, and I thought about it, and I just came to the conclusion that my tomorrow must not be the same as God's tomorrow. So I didn't think it was demons, but just in case, I thought, okay, I'm probably not going to ask for any more confirmations. This is what I'm thinking, right? Probably not going to ask for any more confirmations. I'm not worried about dates anymore. I know you're coming soon, but I thought, well, if I ever do ask another confirmation, well, I was thinking, like that verse in the Bible that talks about how to test the spirits, where it says to ask the spirit if God came to earth in the flesh and died on the cross. So I was always thinking, how would we ask that, like in a confirmation? How am I supposed to ask that? So I thought about it, and I was like, okay. Well, anyway, let me tell you what happened. So I watched a video the other day. I'm gonna link it down below. Man, I can't remember the guy's channel, but I've seen him quite a bit. Anyway, he goes over a summary of some things that were said in Dr. Barry's last video about November 11th, and how there's many times in the Bible, many stories and stuff that are related to 117. Like just various stories in the Bible, and like I don't know, like 117 verses in. It was like this verse and this and that. Anyway, you'd have to go watch that. But he explains it pretty well. And then there's this pattern of like 40 plus 7. 40 and plus 7 all throughout the Bible. So, and you know, even back after the dates passed in September, the first time, no one else was talking about this, but I was thinking it. I was actually thinking like maybe it's like 40 days, some kind of 40-day thing, you know. Maybe it's delayed for 40 days because 40 is mentioned so many times in the Bible, you know. But I didn't say anything. But I was thinking it. So anyway, back to this 40 plus 7 thing and the 11-7 thing. It was a very convincing video, and I was almost done watching date videos, you know, because I'm like, okay, we don't know the day or hour, right? And I'm not date setting. It never was date setting. I was just, you know, watching high watch times. I don't think that's date setting, but anyway. So anyway, this video I watched, it was very convincing though, and I thought I was done watching those videos, but this one, I decided to watch it. It made a lot of sense, is what I mean. It just made a lot of sense, more than any other calendar prediction I've heard yet. I was like, okay, this one really does make sense. 40 days from September 23rd is October 31st, Halloween. Then 7 days from there is November 7th, 11/7. So I went outside to walk my dog, to let her go pee. And I did the same thing I did before with the meteors. I didn't ask for a meteor. I never asked for a meteor. I asked for a sign. I said, Lord, if you're really coming this weekend, could you maybe give me one more sign? Could you give me a sign to let me know that you're coming this weekend? And once again, as soon as I finished that sentence, I saw a bright meteor shoot through the sky. And here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. You say, oh, big deal, you saw a meteor. 3 times. Every time you asked, you saw a meteor. I've lived here for, 6 months now at this house. And every night I go out to take my dog out, I look up at the sky every night. I'm always looking up at the stars. And those 3 times that I asked God for a sign, he showed me a meteor all 3 times. Those are the only 3 times I've seen meteors since I've lived here. And I look up at the sky all the time, and I never see a meteor. So, hold on, my phone is dying. So anyway, so I asked the question, and then I see the meteor, and now here's the part that's crazy. Here's where I know that it was God. I tested the spirits, as in, as soon as that happened, I said, okay. Oh, mind you, I prayed this in my head the first time and second time. I prayed it all in my head. I didn't even say it out loud. So when I asked God for the sign, if he was coming this weekend, I prayed it in my head. And then as soon as I finished praying it in my head, I saw the meteor. And then as soon as that happened, I prayed in my head and said, whoever I just prayed to, do you admit that God came in the flesh and died on the cross? And when I prayed that, I saw a supernatural light in the sky. I can't, I've never seen anything like it. It wasn't a meteor. It wasn't a flash. It wasn't a blink. It was like God turned on a flashlight and turned it back off or something. Like, it was a light. It was a pretty bright light. It was kind of small, but it was bright enough. It was It was brighter. It was brighter than Polaris, the North Star. It was brighter than that. It was probably 2 or 3 times brighter than that, maybe 4 times brighter than that. So it was pretty bright, but it wasn't like huge or anything. But it was just like a light that just went. It wasn't like a blink like that. It wasn't like that. It was like, no, maybe not that slow. It was just a light, like a flashlight. If you were to turn a flashlight on and then turn it back off, and I saw it in outer space. Like this was way up in the sky. It couldn't have been a tower or anything like that. It was way up in the sky, in space, on a clear night, and it was like a signal. That's how I would describe it. Like when I asked for that confirmation, like if God came to Earth and died on the cross in the flesh, and then it like signaled at me. It was like a signal in space, and I don't know how else to describe it. It was I. And by the way, it wasn't a UFO either. I've seen lots of UFOs in my day. Like I'm talking about like extraterrestrial vehicles, like well, fallen angels. I think they're demons, but I've seen these craft many times doing ridiculous maneuvers that we don't have the capability of, right? So I know what these orbs look like, these alien orbs. This wasn't that. This wasn't that. This was looked like it was out in distant space or something. And it was like a flashlight that turned on and off. That's the best way I can describe it. And it wasn't a meteor like shooting directly at me. I've seen meteors like that. That would have been more like a flash. This was not a flash. It was just like an LED light or something that just turned on and then back off. But it was way out in space, and all the like stars around it were like really faint little tiny stars. I didn't really mean for this video to go on this long, but it really was interesting. It was mind blowing. Really, I don't. The thing is, I was worried before that look, even if it doesn't happen this weekend, it may be God's weekend. It may be whenever God's weekend is that He's coming. But the fact of the matter is, I know now that it is God for sure. I mean, that is the one best way to test the spirits in the Bible. It says if you ask them that and they confirm that they believe that God came in the flesh and died on the cross, then you know it's from God. I don't have the verse pulled up right now to show you, but I think you know what I'm talking about. It says, I mean, if we believe the Bible, right, it says that that's the way you test it to know if it's from God. And I've tested the spirits in other ways, like prayed in my head to, Lord, please don't let me be deceived. Please show me something that will confirm this without me being deceived in any way, And then I had to open my Bible randomly and land on a passage that was directly talking about the rapture, And in Luke 11, it talks about, how God is not going to give you a crappy gift in return when you ask Him for something. Like it says when you ask Him, like if you ask Him for something, He's not going to give you a stone or a serpent, So, yeah. And so I really do think it's a high possibility it is 11/7, November 7th, this Friday. And I thought about this. That 6/7 thing that the kids were saying, back in October, before the dates came, and all these kids were saying 6/7, 6/7. My daughter was saying it. That would still fit for this November 6th and 7th. I was thinking that the dead may be raised on the 6th and we may go up on the 7th. Just like the hand signals, 6 is like, wait a minute, 6, 7, 6. So like the dead's going up on the 6th and then we go up on the 7th. And that might be the signal there. 6, 7, right? So that's just my thoughts. And then I had a dream that same night. I couldn't remember what it was, but I was in heaven and I was having a conversation with somebody. I can't really remember it that well, but all I remember is when I was waking up. As I was waking up, I saw like December 15th flashing in front of me. Like it was just like December 15th, big bold letters right in front of me. I don't know what that was all about. December 15th. I don't know. But I did see Dr. Barry today. I watched that video and he said something about December 15th. Well, for one, it's Hanukkah, I think. And then he said something about Purim, or I can't remember if it's one of the feasts or something.
And Purim, of course, is at the 15th of the month at a full moon.
And then something about it was like a good rapture time was December 15th. And I was like, interesting.
Hanukkah's perfect for rapture, that's if it don't pass. Don't pass. Hanukkah's perfect for rapture, that's if it don't pass. Hanukkah. But if it rolls on by, just stand back and hold my glass.
So, I don't know. I think it's going to be this weekend, and I think maybe December 15th, something else significant is going to happen. I don't know why, but I saw that December 15th. So I think there might be something to that. Trying to think of... I'm sorry this video is going on so long, but I'm like really tired, and I'm not even thinking straight. But I really thought I needed to get this video out. I'm not saying for sure it's going to happen. And any mockers and scoffers, don't even bother. I'm just going to delete it. I think I covered everything. Yeah. So, take it how you want. Go to the Lord about it. Pray about it. See if you get a confirmation too, or let's just wait and see, see what happens. But either way, I know when I saw that light, that flashlight in the sky, that was something supernatural that I've never seen in my life. It was really amazing. It was really incredible. I'll never forget it. And it was a confirmation that it was from God. It was from God. I believe that. I'm just going to leave it at that, and love you guys, and hopefully we'll be up there soon. Maranatha.